Hey everybody, this is JMO and this is episode 8 of It Is What It Is. And I just had something pretty cool and not cool at the same time happen while I was setting up. And while I was setting up for this podcast, I dropped one of my cameras, my lens broke. I was very upset. Typical Jordan upset. That includes a good curse word. It includes beating myself up and being angry. But then I snapped back and I remembered that I'm doing 2 weeks of yoga. And yoga isn't just stretching, and that's what I'm learning. It's kind of what I knew before starting this as well. When I was angry with myself for breaking that lens and being stupid and not being careful with it, I was doing just that. I was beating myself up, calling myself stupid. And I took a deep breath and I told myself that I needed to kind of come back to center. I was definitely out of balance, which is something cool that yoga has taught me. And it's just been now 6 days in a row of doing yoga. I'll go to Core Power, which is a studio. There's tons of studios, but Core Power is what I chose. And they've got studios all through the country, I believe. In any case, I'm going to Core Power Yoga, and I'm doing yoga at my apartment as well. It's more just stretching and meditating, but I am working to get 2 hours of yoga in a day. And what it has taught me is to be more balanced and to try to take that balance in with me throughout my day and kind of evaluate if what I'm doing with eating and sleeping and my daily routines and things like that, making sure that they are balanced. And it has been very helpful for sure. So I'm glad that I'm getting in these 2 weeks of yoga. I'm confident that I'll continue doing yoga. But the 2 hours has been pretty unique. And whether it's this podcast or music or work or learning something new in general, I feel like it's easy to notice what you're not great at from the start and to be nervous about it. And those were my initial thoughts with yoga. Immediately, I started thinking, well, I'm not that flexible. I'm pretty inexperienced with yoga. And those were some of the worries that I had when I started it. And I can relate those worries to a lot of things that I've done in my life. And in life, I really do think that you've got to be willing to be uncomfortable to go ahead and try something new and learn something new. And I'm not sure where it comes from, but it is a learned behavior where we get into a place where the new is uncomfortable, it's scary, and I'm personally working to get through that because I'm finding that the more that I experience and the more that I do, the easier it gets to be able to put myself in those situations and hopefully work to thrive, which makes me think about high school football. I had a coach, kind of getting back to those cool coaching moments. I had a coach who would tell us when we were running sprints or whatever it was, and we were all gassed and on our knees. He would say, "Are you trying to survive or are you trying to thrive?" And he would really make us understand that we could either get by and survive, which I was doing for a long time in life in general, and then the flip side is you could thrive. You can put in that work and you can thrive. So this long tangent that I've made, I like to think that I'm prepared and diligent in what I'm doing and studying, and even this incident that happened, yeah, it's annoying and it sucks and it costs me money and all that, but it's really an opportunity to put into practice what I am diligently practicing with yoga. So it was kind of cool. And there's Mac getting crazy. You want to check that out? he pulled the recorder off. Anyways, really happy to be here, really stoked, and we'll get that camera updated. I'll have the angles back, it'll be great. But those were some of my initial thoughts on yoga, and there was no reason to feel that way. The experience has been great. Like I said, I've been going to Core Power, and they're awesome. All of the instructors are super welcoming, and super friendly. I genuinely enjoy going in there. I look forward to it. It's been great taking the sculpt classes and the yoga. Both of those have been awesome classes, and I leave just absolutely drenched in sweat. I would recommend anybody getting into yoga, definitely invest in some quality equipment if you think you're going to be doing it for a while. I'm glad that I have a couple towels. I'm glad I have a mat. I personally don't like to use the rental stuff, but it's been a really great experience all around doing the yoga. And another side note was that I had a friend, and I can't even really call her a friend, I've never met her, and she reached out to me and she was like, "Hey, I want to be on the podcast." I was like, "Yeah, for sure, like let's make it happen." And we got to know each other over social media, and I was like, "Look, if you want to be on the podcast, that's great, like I would love that, but you got to go do yoga with me. I'm doing yoga for 2 weeks. If you want to share in the experience, you got to go do yoga with me." And she was like, "I've never done it." And then I was like, "Well, look, like if you want to do the podcast with me, which would be great, we can talk about other things and laugh and like take the conversation wherever. You got to go do yoga." And she was like, "I've never done it. Like I'm not coordinated, this, that, and the other." And she had a bunch of excuses. And I told her the day we were coordinating it, I was like, "Hey, if you're going to cancel, just tell me now. Just let me work on getting this podcast situated and potentially getting somebody else to go do yoga with me, or, you know, get somebody to FaceTime me and talk about it." And then sure as shit, the day came and she had some excuse about why she couldn't make it and she needed to cancel. And I'm not saying it to put her on blast. It's whatever, it is what it is. But something I learned this week through this process and through this experience was something that I keep relearning throughout my life, is that I need to stick with my gut instinct. And my gut instinct immediately told me that she was not committed to it, that she was not going to be about it. And my gut instinct throughout my life has been correct a far majority of the time. And I do believe that when I was younger, it was easier not to listen to my gut. And it got me into some pretty bad situations for sure. But when I do listen to my gut, I notice that it is right a far majority of the time. And there's something about it that is comforting, knowing that there is something inside of me giving me that guidance and telling me, hey, you know what, this is right or this is wrong, or just doesn't sit right with me or doesn't feel good. So I've been trying to be more in touch with what those feelings are telling me and what that gut instinct is saying. And yoga for sure, top to bottom, in being more balanced and finding more harmony, has given me more of an awareness with my day-to-day. And I'm able to tune into that gut feeling and the intuition more with smaller things, because a lot of times that gut feeling would just be with big things, with like dating girls, or it would be with work, with situations at work, or with certain jobs that I would take or wouldn't take, and definitely with school and things like that. You get the idea. But now that I'm working to be more balanced, those are some of the changes that I've definitely noticed with these last couple days, with almost a week now of 2 hours of yoga. A lot of meditation has been in there as well, which has been pretty cool. The meditation has definitely reduced some anxiousness about me, and I've been able to calm down, and I've been able to really just kind of reflect and appreciate what's around me, and that has been awesome. It's been definitely something that I need. So yoga's been great for that. other changes that I've noticed with yoga is that my body feels so much better. I've been lifting for years. Like I said, I played football in high school, and that's probably when lifting started for me, but I've been lifting ever since then. I'm not necessarily the biggest guy, but I have been in the weight room for years, and like I said previously, I wasn't really sure why. And I I remember that I had a teacher, a professor in junior college, and that professor, it was a it was a sexual education class, and I read the description and I'm thinking like, yo, I'm gonna like learn a bunch of stuff about sex. Like it just made it seem like it was gonna be like this really cool class. Essentially, it was a cool class, but I had the wrong mindset of what that class was for sure. So I go into this class and we learn things about your like sexual health. We learn things about sexual preferences. We learn things about just kind of other people being open and honest with ourselves about different things. And it was really cool. And he never like pressured any views or how we needed to think or behave. He actually said in class, he said, I don't care if you're racist, which I'm sure he would care. But he said, I don't care if you're racist or if you're a saint or if you're this or that or the other, as long as you're conscious and aware of your decisions. And I thought that was one of the coolest things, to be told at, I don't know, I was 18 or 19 years old, that it was very important for me to be conscious and aware of my decisions and what I was doing. Nobody had really told me that before, and I had never really gone into different life experiences being conscious and aware. So tying that consciousness and that awareness with that gut feeling, these are some of the things that I've been thinking about this last week, and it's been very helpful slowing down, centering myself, and being aware of some of these lessons that I've already learned through life and that I'm recalling on. And there's something about the timing of things that it's working out perfectly because it's exactly what I need right now. So I'm very appreciative of that, and I hope that if anyone else is doing yoga with me or any kind of variation, if you're working out or doing Pilates or whatever it might be, I hope you're finding that balance too. And it's been great. So love the experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. If you have any questions about the yoga, please reach out to me. It's been very cool, very fun. I'm about halfway through with Inner Engineering, a yogi's guide to joy. And this has been an awesome book so far. I really do enjoy it. There's been a lot of cool lessons that I've learned. And the author goes into detail about how yoga is more than just going and stretching or getting that workout in. It's more than just breathing. It's more than just meditating. He goes into talking about how yoga is involved with the food that you eat, the sleep that you get, how yoga is transitioned throughout your whole day in balance and finding that harmony, and it's really cool. So I would definitely recommend this book, even if you're not doing yoga. This book has been absolutely amazing for sure. And one of the things that I wanted to take away from the book and is a quote. So the science of yoga is, quite simply, the science of being in perfect alignment, in absolute harmony, in complete sync with existence. So that quote was a nice summary of what yoga is. And he goes on to explain that going throughout your day, you should definitely be in harmony with the planet, the universe, your fellow man, your friends, whoever it might be throughout the day. That is really what will bring you the harmony, the happiness, and all that good stuff. So this book, I would highly recommend it. When I read it, sometimes it makes me laugh, like it feels like he's talking directly to me in certain experiences that I've had lately in my personal life. So it's been a great book. It'll definitely be a book that I reread. I have this weird thing where I have to reread a book a few times before I really understand kind of what the book's saying and it resonates with me. So I'll definitely be rereading this book for sure. what else do we got going on? I have a funny story. There we go. I've got a funny yoga story, and it's from a Vice article, and I thought it'd be kind of a funny story to share because it is quite literally my biggest fear. This story, it was probably one of my initial fears with being nervous and not flexible, was what if I go into yoga and this awful thing happens? And what it was apparently this woman, Samantha Duff, 26, yoga studio owner, she said it was a very memorable moment. We were doing hot yoga and everybody was sweating like crazy, and one of our less coordinated students slipped from her mat and hit the ground. There was a loud fart, and then she started laughing. The more she laughed, the more farts came out. It was rapid fire like a machine gun. We could not stop laughing. It was hilarious. So it sounds like it was funny, but I'm telling you right now, if I ever fell and farted, that would be enough for me to immediately just bow, namaste, apologize, and not stay. I would be Audi 5000. That is a fact. But not only was it one fart, she farted like a machine gun. And that is so descriptive. To fart like a machine gun, it must have actually been one of the best farts ever. Because I personally can remember some amazing farts that I've had, like in class or like working out, definitely have farted, but I've never machine gun farted. Like what is that? What must that have been like? I have no idea, but it's for sure my biggest nightmare. So top to bottom, yoga, I guess it can be scary for sure to go through something like that. But I think if I went through something like that, it would make me a better human, for sure a better person. Because the things that have happened to me like that, it made me like stronger, you know? And so who knows? Maybe I'll fart in yoga and that'll happen. Oddly, this is very random, but I spit today in yoga. Like spit came out of my mouth. And I was like, wow, that was disgusting. And I'm sure if anyone saw it, they were probably like, this guy can't even control his body. So maybe a fart is coming. Who knows? But yeah, that was a quick little funny story that I figured I would share. I got Mac. He's been joining me on the podcast. It's been pretty cool. I feel pretty special that he wants to come kick it. Let's show him again. You want to be famous? Let's get Mac famous. Look at that guy. Look at that guy. So almost a week through yoga. Next week I'll have to pick something new. I think I'm going to post on Instagram and have my friends vote on what I should do next for 2 weeks. I might throw some funny things in there. I'd like to do something like draw or something like that. That sounds pretty cool. And when I do these things, I'm studying it. I definitely take this book as me studying yoga. So anything else that I do, I'll be studying it and taking it seriously so I can become better at it. I'd like to be able to show people what's possible in just 2 weeks with 2 hours of time a day. And even the busiest people can find an hour in the morning or an hour at night to do something. And I genuinely would recommend you do something that you're passionate about, because this podcast is something I'm passionate about for sure. I'm crafting it, figuring out how to make it my own, make it something that feels right and is definitely beneficial to me, beneficial to other people as well. And then music. Music has been something that I've been, I think, passionate about longer than I've been honest with myself about. And I used to shy away with telling people that I was into making music and things like that. But now I really just take the time and enjoy it. It is something I'm passionate about. And I couldn't imagine giving up and not continuing to try it. And it feels good having that. Haven't had that in a long time. So an hour in the morning, an hour at night, 2 hours a night, whatever it might be, I really do urge you to to do something that kind of scares you. That that stuff feels good when you do accomplish it, even right now, sitting here talking with you. This is tougher than I thought it would be, definitely, but there's something important about being honest with yourself, and it's kind of my theme of the week, I think. And if I'm honest with myself and I carry out the actions that are necessary to resolve any tension, it is a wonderful difference that I experience. And it's odd because you would figure it'd be the easy route to go and do something like that, to go do what's necessary to be honest with yourself and resolve any tension or any unresolved situations. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm far from it. I've made plenty of mistakes and I continue to make plenty of mistakes, but I'm feeling a lot better about the different stuff that, the different situations, the different trials, like daily trials, my diet. I'm trying to fix my diet, getting some better exercise in, working to be better at my job, more efficient at what I do. So just working really hard not to machine gun fart everywhere I go. The last night when I went out with some friends, and just another thing about farts, there was a heater pushing hot air, and I've really never seen one of these things. And actually, I take that back. I've seen them at Mason Bar and different places like that. But it's this huge heater pushing hot air across this room. And I see this guy, he walks over, and his buddies are laughing. And he gets in front of this huge heater, and I know that dude farted because everyone freaked out. I was on like the other side of the room, and I know for sure that I smelled that guy fart. And I was like, what a diabolical plan. It was funny, but also I was like, bro, what are you doing? So just more about machine gun farting. That would be, if machine gun farting is like the shooting, that would be the concrete definition of crop dusting. Standing in front of a heater and letting one loose. So that dude was just listening to his gut. You know what I mean? We've been talking about it the whole time. And that guy knew in his gut that he had to let one rip right in front of the heater that was blowing that air all across the room. So shout out to that guy. I have a awesome day ahead of me. I'm going to go hang out with one of my buddies, and I hope you're having a wonderful day as well. When this episode comes out, I will have 1 week of 2 hours of yoga, whether that be stretching, meditating, yoga class, researching yoga, and it's been awesome. I'll have more updates for you next week, but for now, I'm going to go try to get my lens, a new lens, some other stuff that I need for the podcast, and I hope you have a great day. Reach out to me if you have any suggestions or advice. You guys are awesome. I really do appreciate all you friends, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Later.